Hello, everyone. My name is Shalini. I'm a PhD student at the University of Vienna. And yeah, so we know that a vast amount of research has been done on fertility intentions, but they have mostly been focused on desired family size, short-term or long-term intentions, and the degree of certainty in those intentions. But a very important aspect of those intentions is not very much present in the existing literature, which is fertility timing intentions, as is also mentioned by our keynote speaker. So it is defined as the age at which individuals or couples want to have children. And the research question, this study is mostly about that, and the research question it addresses is how do childless people shift their intended age to enter parenthood in relation to their current age and partnership status. So out of many factors that influences childbearing decisions, because these two plays a very central role in shaping those intentions and realization of those intentions, I chose these two factors. PairFarm, the German yearly panel data, has been used to carry out this research, and the intended realistic age to have first child is the main variable of this study. And this question was asked to respondents, and they had the option to either respond with an exact age, or they could have said they haven't thought about it, or do not answer. This study includes all childless men and women from 2 birth cohorts who were asked this question. And I chose these 2 birth cohorts because in this data set, not everybody was at the same age at each point of time. So in order to include all the reproductive ages, I had to choose these 2 birth cohorts. Now we'll see some descriptive graphs on how the proportion of different kind of responses on this question by current age of respondent changes. So this is the graph for the younger cohort, for which we have ages from 15 to 29. Here we see a very distinct and clear pattern of responses, where people said that they want to have their first child in their early 20s, then majorly in their mid and late 20s. And then you will see a very slow increment in the proportion of people saying that they want to have their child in the early 30s. And we also have a small proportion of people saying that they do not want children, almost at each ages. But what's interesting is that almost nobody has said that they want to have their first child when they are above 35 years. When you see the same graph for the older cohort, in the initial years, mid and late 20s, the behavior is same as what we saw in the previous cohort. But at the later ages, you saw this new color emerges, which signifies the responses on late 30s. So people do want to have their child if they are childless and they couldn't meet their intentions before. And we also see that the proportion of people saying that they don't want children increases as they age. So they just give up. They're starting to give up because they couldn't meet their intention. To summarize the last 2 graphs, I showed this graph where I showed the maximum proportion of responses at each age, where we clearly see that there is a clear digit preference in the responses of people saying that they, in the younger years, they say that they mostly want to have their first child by 25 years, then 28, 30, 32, and 35. So basically, ages ending with 5, 0, and even numbers. But at higher ages, a large proportion of people saying that they don't want children at all. There's a second part of this research. The graphs are not shown here, but I'll just summarize the findings. So I tried to see how the changes in partnership or no changes in partnership status is influencing the response on intended realistic age to have first child. And we found that for the younger cohort, there was not much effect, primarily because we only had ages from 15 to 29, and they have time to think about it. For the older cohort, it matters a lot, as we found that a significant proportion of people not only shifted their childbearing age upwards when transitioned from being partnered to single, but also downwards when they transitioned from being single to partnered. And then a large proportion of individuals were found to be either unsure of their fertility timing intentions, or they didn't want children at all at later ages, particularly if they remained single in consecutive years. I can show you the graph if you want, but yeah, timing limitations. Thank you.